Hey everyone, Gaijin here, and well, I'm still in the middle of trying to finish the second half of my top 10 games in Japan, but there's something that's been nagging me recently, and it went away for a little while, but it's come back with the new trailer for the new Super Mario Bros. 2, and that's the topic of super guides. Now, let me just say that I'm not 100% against super guides. I'm just very, very angry at the way that they're being used, and angry is a good word to use, and let me explain why. I come from the late 80s generation where I grew up with the NES, and that evolved into the SNES, the 64, and so on, and even people just beginning to play on the 64, we got through these games without the need of super guides. We just didn't. We were able to complete the games just fine without them. Now, here's the problem with a lot of super guides, and more especially the ones that either beat the game for you or make you invincible for the duration of a level. It removes any sort of barrier. It removes the rules of the game for the most part. The idea behind a video game, from my understanding, is that it starts out easy so you can learn how the game works, and over time the difficulty ramps up. Super guides that make you invincible or beat the level for you completely throw away any and all boundaries to these rules. And that, in my opinion, is poor design of a video game. I understand that the point of it is to help get people through situations where they got stuck. I get that, but there's a flip side to this. Not only does it remove the barriers the game originally set for you in order to get you to build up your ability to play, but there's a psychological thing that newer gamers don't know, and possibly they don't understand. A gamer from my generation, when we were stuck in a place, when we lost life after life after life, the very last thing we wanted to hear was either our parents telling us to get off the game, or worse, our buddy sitting next to us saying, "Oh dude, let me beat this part for you." Screw that. Screw that in the ear. And the reason why is because we were dedicated. We wanted to beat the game for ourselves. We were that determined. And yeah, it caused a lot of frustration and maybe some hateful words, but like it or not, this is how my generation grew up with video games. And I think many, if not most, of the people of that generation will agree with me. That is our psychological response to people who want to do things for us in a game. Screw that, we're gonna do it ourselves. The game will not beat us. But now, the games are beating themselves. I understand that you can completely avoid these things if you want, but even the fact that they are on the screen will still give us the biggest rage ever, because that's the game saying, I can beat myself for you because you apparently suck too much. Yeah, maybe that's reading a little hard into what the game's trying to do, but that's what it's doing, intentional or not. That's telling people, gamers of my generation, you suck, I'm gonna do it for you. And again, screw that. We don't want to see it, we don't want to hear it, we don't want the option. And again, going back, you are, this drives me crazy, guys. You are destroying the limitations of the game. You are telling us, as gamers, you can keep screwing up as much as you want because we'll beat the game for you. The only argument against this is that some games will say, well, you can't get either one of the big gold coins or whatever collectible item. Does it matter? I can't think of any hardcore Nintendo fans that really cared that much about 100% completionism. And if you're out there, I apologize, but I just don't know any. So, all this is telling us is that there are no rules, and the game will beat itself if you screw up enough. There's no learning, there's no boundaries. I understand that games don't need to be Battletoads hard. That was ridiculous. If there was a super guide in that, man, I'd be happy. But we're talking about Mario. Mario's been progressively getting easier and easier as time has gone by, yet there's more and more super guides, more and more ways of getting extra lives. Scale it back some. And let me lead this into how super guides can be done right, and there's actually quite a few examples. Mario 3D Land is a great example of that. At first, when I saw it, when I saw that golden invincible Tanuki suit, I started to rage for the before-mentioned reasons. But when I learned in the second half of the game, when the difficulty really ramped up, there was no golden Tanuki suit. There was no super guide to get you through the hard levels. You had to use your skill and your wit, and I loved it because it helped you learn the mechanics of the game, which most games should do. But when you got to the meat of it, you had to use what you learned, and that was superbly executed. That was the best executed super guide in my opinion. New Super Mario Bros. Wii also does a really good job. you have to unlock these guides by collecting those big star coins. And I like that because they show you videos of how to earn multiple 1-ups, getting around tricky areas, and you can take that knowledge and apply it to other areas. That's really cool. You still have to work for it. And yeah, it's spelled out for you, but it's still tricky to unlock all of those guides. It's not a matter of dying multiple times. It's you have to fully complete a level in order to get that extra hint. That's another good implementation. The last one, Sakura Samurai, I think that's the name of the game, where basically, if you die too much, you get a quick little post-death on-screen instruction about how to get around this obstacle. It's quick, it's easy, and for a game that requires crazy precision like Sakura Samurai, that's okay. It's done fast, it doesn't rub it in your face, it just goes. Now, here's how super guides are done wrong. And this is gonna get me a lot of hate, because if you know me from Screw Attack, you may know that my first post on Screw Attack was a rant about super guides. But you know what? I don't care. I'm throwing my voice out there. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. This is the thing that absolutely ended my interest in Zelda, and this is very unfortunate. Outside, I believe, of Link's house, there is a special area you crawl into, and the game gives you all of the secrets, all of the areas to bomb to get special items or whatnot. I lost it. Zelda, for me, in the past, was all about the clues, the hints, the secrets, discovering these things for yourself, learning about these things. And this just destroyed all of that. And I'm sorry, but I know I'm not the only one. The first Zelda, even the second Zelda, and the third one especially, all about all those secrets. And it was the best thing ever. In my mind, it's what defines Zelda. Navi kind of started that trend, but I hated Navi because of the constant hey, hello, hey, listen, as I'm sure most of you were. But the amount of information that is thrown at you, given to you, you don't even have a chance to really explore what you're supposed to do next before it's just given to you through exposition in one way or another. I'm sorry, that killed Zelda for me. And if you think that's unjustified, that's your opinion. But man, that killed it for me. The last one, and this is where the Super Guide rant really started, was Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii. When I saw that little image that said, hey, I can beat the level for you, oh man, I'm sorry. It goes right back to the psychological response of, you're not gonna beat it for me, I'm gonna beat it myself. Optional or not, that being on the screen is basically your buddy sitting next to you saying, oh dude, I can do it for you. You suck too much. That's what that says, even just on the screen. Psychologically, it says, you suck. You can't do it. And nothing infuriates us old school gamers more than hearing that from anyone. So let me wrap this up. I understand this is a money game. I understand that Nintendo does this because they want to sell to more people. From a business standpoint, that's fine. I understand that. But from a gamer perspective, it drives us crazy. Nintendo lost its image with us as being for the air quotes hardcore gamer crowd because of things like poorly implemented super guides. Because it's like they don't understand. It's like they don't understand the psychology of what the last 20 years has done to gamers who love Nintendo. So this is basically telling me Nintendo wants their money, and really that's all they care about. That's what it tells me. You can disagree with me if you want, but that's my opinion. I'm throwing that out there. If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, that's fine too. But this is telling me every time I play a current gen Nintendo game that has a super guide that all they care about is money, money, money. And it's sad. So anyway, that's my rant about super guides. I'll just leave it at that. If you guys want to comment, go for it. I'd like to hear your opinions. Just keep it civil. I try to keep this rant relatively civil by throwing out some ideas and hopefully some proof of why this makes me rage so much. I'm not slandering Nintendo. I'm not trying to slander Nintendo's name. I'm not trying to slander what they do. This is just something that bothers me. So anyway, leave your comments. I'd be happy to look over them. But for now, this is Gaijin Goomba signing out.